The cruise terminal gleamed in the morning sun as I wheeled my designer luggage toward the gangway, flanked by my husband Travis and his sister Valentina. After 5 years of marriage and countless promises of someday, we were finally taking that dream vacation I'd saved so carefully for. I'm Layla, and this was supposed to be the moment everything changed. It did, just not how I expected. "This is as far as you go," Travis said, his hand suddenly gripping my arm. His voice had that silky smooth quality I'd grown to hate. "What?" I stopped, confusion clouding my excitement. "What do you mean?" Valentina's perfectly lined lips curved into a smirk. "Oh, honey, did you really think you were coming? This is a premium luxury cruise for people with class. But I paid for—" The realization hit me like a physical blow. "You used my money, all of it?" "Consider it compensation for putting up with you," Travis laughed, already backing away. 5 years of pretending you belonged in our world? That's worth something." My hands trembled as I reached for my phone, only to find my banking apps locked out. They'd planned this, timed it perfectly. "That's my life savings, clapped," I whispered, though my voice grew stronger with each word. $300,000. "Had to cover first-class everything," Valentina chirped, waving her manicured fingers at her designer outfit. "Plus the spa packages, premium dining, shore excursions. You know how it adds up." Passengers streamed around us, their excited chatter a stark contrast to the ice forming in my chest. A young family brushed past, their little girl clutching a stuffed dolphin. I watched them disappear up the gangway while my world imploded. "Travis, please," I said, hating how small my voice sounded. "We can talk about this." He adjusted his Rolex, bought with my bonus last year, and shook his head. "There's nothing to talk about. You served your purpose. Have a nice life being poor." He grabbed their matching luggage and headed for the ship's entrance, Valentina trailing behind like an entitled shadow. "By the way," she called over her shoulder, "we're keeping the house too. Might want to start apartment hunting." I stood there, surrounded by excited travelers, watching my husband and his sister board a luxury cruise ship with everything I owned. The betrayal burned, but something else burned hotter. Rage, carefully banked and controlled. What they didn't know was that I'm a financial analyst. Numbers are my life, and for the past year, I'd documented every suspicious transaction, every forged signature, every borrowed dollar. Each time Travis insisted I add his name to an account for convenience, I kept the paperwork. Every time Valentina borrowed my credit card for emergency shopping, I tracked it. They thought I was naive, trusting, weak. The ship's horn blasted, deep and resonant. From the upper deck, I could see them at the railing, champagne glasses already in hand. Valentina blew me a mocking kiss, while Travis wrapped his arm around her waist, both of them laughing down at me. My phone felt heavy in my hand. One call would start it all, the carefully orchestrated plan I'd been building like a silent fortress around myself. They thought they were so clever, timing this for a holiday weekend when banks and courts would be closed. But my lawyer, Emma, was waiting. My friend Haley, now chief security officer for the cruise line, was expecting my signal. And somewhere in the city, Travis's Aunt Daisy sat with a stack of documents that would blow their family's financial house of cards sky high. A port official approached me, concern on his face. "Ma'am, are you all right? Do you need assistance?" I straightened my spine, smiled, and shook my head. "No, thank you. I'm exactly where I need to be." The ship's engines rumbled to life as I pulled up Emma's number. Travis and Valentina thought they were embarking on a 2-week luxury cruise. They had no idea they were sailing straight into the perfect storm I'd spent months creating. My thumb hovered over the call button as I watched them raise their glasses in a toast. "Enjoy the champagne," I whispered, finally pressing call. "It's the last thing you'll be celebrating for a very long time." Emma picked up on the first ring. "Layla, did they do it?" I took one last look at the ship, my voice steady and cold. Yes, time to make them pay. Every last penny. You're sure about this? Emma asked. Once we start, there's no going back. I thought about 5 years of manipulation, of playing the dutiful wife while they bled me dry, of Travis's smug smile and Valentina's condescending smirk. My answer was simple. Make the calls, all of them, now. Emma's office buzzed with focused energy as Palmer, her assistant, spread documents across the conference table. My hidden folders, 3 years of meticulous record-keeping, lay open like a roadmap of betrayal. Look at this, Palmer said, tapping his tablet. They didn't just take your savings. They opened a line of credit in your name 2 weeks ago. Maximum amount, $150,000. I leaned forward, my hands steady as I scrolled through the fraudulent application. That's not my signature. No, Emma agreed, her heels clicking as she paced. That's digital forgery, and it's federal fraud when it crosses state lines, which a cruise definitely does. She paused, studying me. You knew they were planning something like this, didn't you? I suspected. I pulled up a voice recording on my phone. Listen, Travis's voice filled the room. Just sign here, babe. It's easier if I have access to everything. You know how busy I get with clients. A pause. What, don't you trust me? After everything I've done for you? Emma's expression hardened. Classic financial abuse tactics. When did you start recording? 2 years ago, after I found statements showing he'd borrowed $50,000 for Valentina's failed jewelry business. I played another recording, Valentina this time, drunk and bragging at a family dinner about how easy it was to manipulate me. My phone buzzed. Haley, I put her on speaker. You're not going to believe this, she said, her voice crackling with satisfaction. They're up on the Lido deck right now, charging champagne to your credit card. Want to see? A photo popped up. Travis and Valentina lounging by the pool, surrounded by bottles of Dom Perignon. Their new friends clustered around them, all designer swimwear and practiced poses. They've told everyone they're trust fund babies, Haley continued, living off their family fortune. Should I mention to the captain that their fortune is actually stolen money? Emma's eyes gleamed. Not yet. First, we need to... Freeze everything, Palmer interrupted, still typing furiously. Holy shit, Layla. Look at this. He turned his screen toward us. Multiple offshore accounts, all linked to a shell company in Travis's name. Regular transfers, small enough to fly under radar, dating back years. He wasn't just stealing from you, Palmer said quietly. These transactions match complaints from his elderly clients. He's been running a Ponzi scheme. My hands clenched. Those sweet old couples who came to dinner, who brought us Christmas cookies. Got proof? Emma asked sharply. I pulled out my external hard drive. Every client meeting he held in our home office, I had a camera running. Standard security measure, he said. His idea. I allowed myself a small smile. Funny how that worked out. Emma was already dialing. Judge Harrison? Sorry to bother you at home, but I need an emergency injunction. I'm sending evidence of ongoing financial fraud, elder abuse, and identity theft. Yes, I'll hold. Haley's voice crackled through the speaker again. Layla, ship's purser just flagged unusual spending patterns on your cards. Want me to let it ride? Build more evidence? No, I said firmly. Let them dig the hole deeper. Just send me pictures? Oh, I've got better than pictures. Haley's grin was audible. I've got their dinner reservation tonight at the captain's table. Very exclusive, very public. Perfect place for, say, a formal inquiry into financial irregularities. Emma covered the phone. Judge is signing the order. All accounts frozen within the hour. But Layla, she fixed me with a stern look. You know they'll figure it out soon. The moment those cards decline, they'll panic, I finished. Good. Let them feel what I felt, watching my life savings disappear. I looked at the photo again, their smug faces, the scattered champagne bottles, the obvious lies. But not yet. Let them enjoy their false security a little longer. My phone chimed with another message, this one from Daisy, Travis's aunt. Found the old trust fund papers, the ones proving what Travis and Valentina's parents did to me. When do you need them? Palmer whistled low. Like mother? Like son? Like family, I corrected, typing back to Daisy. Tomorrow. Bring everything. Emma hung up, triumphant. Injunction granted. Banking freeze starts at midnight ship time. Perfect! I stood, gathering my files. That gives them exactly enough time to order the most expensive items on the captain's dinner menu, and not quite enough time to pay for them. Haley sent one final message, another photo of the happy fraudsters, this time with Travis holding up a glass in mock salute to the camera. Let's wipe that smug off, she wrote. I stared at his familiar smile, the one I'd once loved, before I understood what lay behind it. Oh, we will, I whispered. We absolutely will. Haley's surveillance feed showed Travis and Valentina living their best stolen life. They'd spent the morning at the spa, my credit card still working thanks to Emma's strategic timing, and were now holding court by the infinity pool. These two are something else, Haley messaged, sending a clip of Valentina addressing her new Instagram followers. Listen to this garbage. Living my best life on this absolutely divine cruise. Valentina's voice dripped with affected sophistication. When you come from old money like we do, it's important to maintain certain standards. I watched Travis in the background, charming an elderly couple with his practiced smile, the same smile he'd used on me, on his clients, on everyone he'd ever scammed. Turn up the audio on that conversation, I texted Haley. Just a modest family portfolio, Travis was saying, swirling expensive scotch in his glass. My sister and I believe in maintaining our parents' legacy of discreet wealth management. The elderly woman nodded appreciatively. So rare to see young people with such financial acumen these days. My phone rang. Emma. You need to see what Palmer just found, she said without preamble. Remember those offshore accounts? They're linked to a series of complaints filed against Travis's old investment firm. All buried, all settled quietly. How quietly? Quiet enough that his current clients have no idea he was fired for suspicious activity. He told them he left to start his own practice. I closed my eyes, remembering all the client meetings in our home office, the trust in their eyes, the careful way they counted out their retirement savings. Send everything to Haley, I said. The ship's financial compliance officer will need it. As if on cue, Haley messaged. Captain's reviewing the evidence. He's not happy. International waters have strict financial regulations. Fraud on his ship makes him personally liable. I watched the feed as a uniformed officer approached Travis by the pool. The conversation was brief, professional. Travis's face remained composed, but I saw the slight tightening around his eyes. What's happening? I asked Haley. Standard procedure. All passengers using credit lines over certain amounts need to verify funds. Travis just got flagged for random checking. Valentina was still recording her luxury lifestyle, oblivious to her brother's growing discomfort. And of course, darlings, when you're used to the finer things, you simply must have the premium beverage package. Palmer sent another update. Found something interesting in the trust fund records. Looks like Travis and Valentina pulled this same stunt before with their own parents' money. How much? Enough to force their parents into early retirement. They're living in a small apartment in Florida now, cut off all contact with their kids. The pieces clicked. That's why they needed me, I typed back. They burned through their parents' money, needed a fresh source. On screen, Travis returned to his lounger, his movements slightly stiffer than before. He grabbed his phone, probably checking accounts I'd already frozen. Incoming, Haley warned. He's trying to access the ship's satellite Wi-Fi to make some transfers. Should I let him? Yes, Emma chimed in via group chat. Let him try. Every attempted transaction is more evidence. I watched Travis's expression darken as his transfers failed. He pulled Valentina aside, their heated whispers just barely picked up by Haley's microphones. "What do you mean, problem with the accounts?" Valentina hissed. "Shut up and smile," Travis muttered. "I'll handle it." But his next call wasn't to their bank, it was to one of his elderly clients. I could hear the fake concern in his voice. "Just checking on that investment we discussed. Yes, yes, immediate growth opportunity. If you could wire the funds today." "Got that recorded," Haley confirmed. "Attempting to commit fraud while under investigation. Captain's going to love this." A new message popped up from Daisy. "Meeting with the prosecutor tomorrow, bringing everything about the family trust fund scheme. Your lawyer says it establishes pattern of behavior?" "Perfect timing," Emma replied to all. Palmer just found 6 more complaints against Travis, all elderly victims, all within the last year. On the ship's feed, Travis and Valentina had separated. She was back to documenting their luxury suite, while he paced on his balcony, making call after failed call. "Haley," I typed. "How long until they figure it out?" "Soon, very soon. Captain's called a special meeting with his financial officer. Once they verify all the evidence—" I watched Travis run his hands through his perfectly styled hair, his composure cracking. Valentina posted another smiling photo with the caption, "Living the dream. So blessed to afford this amazing lifestyle." "Let them post," Emma advised. "Every social media brag about their wealth is evidence of intent to deceive." The ship's feed showed the captain now, reviewing documents in his office, his face growing sterner by the minute. "He's calling for security," Haley reported. "Want to guess where they're heading?" I smiled, cold and satisfied. "Straight to my loving husband and his dear sister, I hope." "You got it. And Layla? The captain doesn't tolerate fraud, not even a little bit." The security camera feed showed Travis strutting into the captain's office, all confidence and practiced charm. 40 minutes later, he stumbled out, ashen-faced and sweating. "What happened?" Valentina demanded when he returned to their suite. The ship's microphones caught every word. "Nothing, just routine verification." Travis's voice shook slightly. "Where's your phone?" "Posting about our caviar lunch. Why?" "Delete it. Delete everything." Valentina laughed. "Are you crazy? I have 2,000 new followers. They love our luxury lifestyle content." "Damn it, Val." Travis grabbed her phone. "The captain knows about the credit cards, the transfers, everything. They're watching us." While they argued, I sat in Daisy's living room, surrounded by yellowed documents and old photos. Their aunt's hands trembled as she showed me a family picture. "That's their father," she said, pointing to a man with Travis's smile. "My brother, the one who stole my inheritance." "Tell me everything," I said, recording on my phone with her permission. "Our parents left a trust fund, equal shares for both of us. Robert, their father, convinced me to let him manage my portion, said he'd double it with smart investments." She laughed bitterly. "Sound familiar?" "What happened?" "Same thing that happened to you, same thing that happened to their parents. He drained it all, then taught his kids the family business." She pulled out bank statements, court documents. "By the time I figured it out, the money was gone. I was too ashamed to press charges." My phone buzzed with updates from the ship. Valentina was having a meltdown over her social media. "They're calling me a fraud," she shrieked. "My followers are saying I'm lying about everything." "Because you are," Travis snapped. "Now shut up and help me figure this out." I forwarded Daisy's evidence to Emma, who responded immediately. "This is perfect. Shows generational pattern of fraud. Judge will love it." Palmer chimed in. "Found something else. Travis tried accessing his offshore accounts an hour ago. Multiple failed attempts." "He's getting desperate, right?" Haley added. "Just tried using a different credit card at the ship's casino. Declined. Made quite a scene." I imagined Travis's face. That familiar mix of rage and calculation when things didn't go his way. Right on cue, Haley sent new footage. "Watch this," she wrote. Travis was at the purser's desk, trying to charm the staff. There must be some mistake. I'm a private wealth manager. My clients include some very influential people. The purser remained professional but firm. I'm sorry, sir, but all your cards have been declined. Additionally, the captain requires you and your sister to remain in your cabin until further notice. Under whose authority? International maritime law, sir, regarding financial crimes at sea. Back in Daisy's living room, I watched Travis's composure crack completely. Send me everything, I told Daisy. Every document, every photo, every piece of evidence about what they did to you. Already scanned and sent to your lawyer, she said. Make them pay, Layla, not just for you, for all of us they've hurt. My phone lit up with a series of messages. Emma. Judge-approved expanded investigation. FBI's interested in the elder fraud angle. Palmer. Found 3 more offshore accounts. All empty now. They must have been planning this for months. Haley. Captain's making an announcement tomorrow morning. Want me to send you the live feed? I looked at Daisy, saw the years of pain behind her eyes. They thought they were so clever, she said quietly. Just like their father, always underestimating the quiet ones. On my phone screen, Travis and Valentina paced their luxury suite like caged animals. Their social media empire was crumbling. Past victims were finding Valentina's posts, sharing their own stories of fraud and betrayal. What do we do? Valentina's voice cracked. Travis, what do we do? For once, Travis had no smooth answers. He stared at his useless phone, at the locked balcony door, at the security guard posted outside their suite. Layla, he whispered, and I heard real fear in his voice. This is Layla. The wife you thought was too stupid to notice? Valentina laughed hysterically. The one you said would never figure it out? Shut up, Travis roared. Just shut up and let me think. But there was nothing to think about. No clever escape, no smooth talk to fix this. They'd sailed right into my trap, and tomorrow morning the captain would spring it shut. 9 a.m. ship time, Haley confirmed. That's when the announcement goes live. Every passenger, every crew member, every social media follower will know exactly who they are. I smiled at Daisy, took her trembling hands in mine. Want to watch it together? She squeezed my fingers. Wouldn't miss it for the world. The ship's main dining room buzzed with breakfast conversation as passengers enjoyed their luxury buffet. Travis and Valentina sat alone at a corner table, picking at their food, jumping at every announcement over the PA system. Live feeds up, Haley messaged. You watching? Daisy and I sat in her living room, coffee growing cold as we stared at my laptop screen. Emma and Palmer had joined via video call, while Haley's camera showed multiple angles of the dining room. At exactly 9 a.m., the PA system crackled. Good morning, passengers. This is your captain speaking. Travis's head snapped up, his fork clattering against fine china. I regret to inform you that we have confirmed serious financial crimes being committed aboard this vessel. As per maritime law and cruise line policy, we will now be taking action. The dining room fell silent. Valentina's face went pale beneath her expensive makeup. Would passengers Travis and Valentina please remain seated? Security will escort you to the detention area. All other passengers, please continue your breakfast. 4 uniformed officers approached their table. Travis stood, trying one last time to charm his way out. There's been a mistake, he said loudly. I'm a wealth manager. My clients... Your clients have been contacted by the FBI, one officer cut in. Please come with us. Valentina started crying, mascara running. But we're supposed to be at the pool party. I promised my followers. Your social media accounts have been suspended for fraud, the officer stated. Now, will you come quietly, or do we need to make this more uncomfortable? Heads turned. Phones came out. The wealthy passengers who'd fawned over their supposed old money status now whispered and pointed. Is it true? Someone called out. Were they stealing from old people? Travis's lawyer's smile cracked completely. This is all a misunderstanding, my wife. Your wife, the captain's voice boomed over the PA again, has provided extensive evidence of your crimes, including fraud against elderly clients, identity theft, and illegal use of stolen funds for this cruise. Gasps rippled through the dining room. Valentina collapsed into her chair, sobbing. Oh, God, Palmer said through our video call. This is better than Netflix. The security team moved in closer. Your cabin has been sealed. All purchases have been reversed to their rightful accounts. Please come with us now. Travis tried to bolt. He made it 3 steps before 2 officers caught him, his designer shirt ripping as they restrained him. Don't touch me, he shouted. Do you know who I am? Yes, the lead officer replied calmly. We know exactly who you are and who you've stolen from. Valentina had to be physically lifted from her chair, wailing about her Instagram followers and her reputation. Send the footage to everyone, Troyella, I told Haley. Their victims deserve to see this. Already trending, Palmer confirmed. Their old clients are sharing it everywhere. Through the ship's cameras, we watch them being marched through public areas. Valentina, barefoot after losing her expensive heels in the struggle. Travis, his carefully styled hair a mess, designer clothes wrinkled. My wife did this, he kept saying. That bitch set us up. No, the captain's voice came over the PA one final time. You did this to yourselves. We have zero tolerance for financial crimes at sea. Passengers, please note that these individuals will be turned over to authorities at our next port. Their luxury suite will be cleaned and reassigned. Emma's face appeared in our video chat. Port authorities are ready. FBI's waiting too. They're particularly interested in the elder fraud charges. Daisy squeezed my hand as we watched Travis and Valentina being led to the ship's detention area, a far cry from their premium suite. Those aren't even the worst charges, Palmer added. Wait until they hear about the international financial crimes. Those carry serious time. My phone buzzed with a message from one of Travis's elderly clients. Just saw the video. Is it true? Are you the one who caught them? Before I could respond, Haley sent one final clip. Travis and Valentina in their holding cell, all pretense gone. This is your fault, Valentina screamed at her brother. You said she was stupid. You said she'd never figure it out. Shut up! Travis slammed his hand against the wall. Just shut up and let me think. Think about what? We're finished. Our followers know, the clients know, everyone knows. I turned to Daisy, saw tears in her eyes. Your parents would be proud, she said softly. Standing up to them like this. It's not over, I replied, watching Travis pace his cell like a trapped animal. The next port is in 12 hours. That's 12 hours for them to sit and think about every person they've ever scammed. And after that? Daisy asked. I smiled, cold and satisfied. After that, they learn what it feels like to lose everything. Emma's office had become command central as more victims came forward. Palmer's desk disappeared under stacks of complaints, while my phone buzzed constantly with messages from Travis's former clients. Another one, Palmer announced, holding up his tablet. Retired school teacher, lost her pension. Says Travis convinced her to reinvest through his exclusive firm. Emma paced, phone pressed to her ear. Yes, Your Honor. 17 victims so far, total losses approaching $2 million. No, that doesn't include Mrs. Flores' stolen funds. My own phone lit up with a message from Haley. You need to see this. She'd sent footage from the ship's detention area. Travis sat in his cell, using his one phone call, not to a lawyer, but to his mother. Mom, please, his voice cracked. I know we hurt you and Dad, but I need help. They're saying federal charges. Like father, like son? His mother's voice was tired, defeated. We lost everything because of you two. Our home, our retirement, our dignity. Now you've done it to others? Mom? No, Travis, no more. Your father hasn't spoken a word since we found out what you did to Layla. He loved her like a daughter. The call ended. Travis slumped against the wall, while in the adjacent cell, Valentina scrolled through her phone's dying battery, reading comments on her last social media posts. "Fraud!" she read aloud, voice shaking. "Thief! Hope you rot in jail! How could you steal from elderly people?" She threw the phone down. "They're all turning against us." "Karma's not just a social media hashtag," Palmer muttered, sorting through more victim statements. My laptop chimed with a video call from Daisy. "The prosecutor wants to meet," she said without preamble. "Says our family trust fund case shows a clear pattern going back years." "Send him everything," Emma instructed. "Every document, every photo, every piece of evidence about what they did to your parents' money." Another message from Haley popped up. "Ship docks in 3 hours. Local media got wind of the story. Cameras are waiting." I opened my social media for the first time since the cruise departed. My single post had gone viral. Just my passport, a digital boarding pass, and the caption, "We rise, not because we forget, but because we planned." The comments flooded in. "Queen of Revenge." "Financial Analyst, 1. Fraudsters, 0. "This is how you serve justice." But it was the private messages that mattered. Dozens from other victims of financial abuse, sharing their stories, asking for advice. "Palmer," I called. "Start a file. We're going to help these people." Emma hung up her phone, grinning. "Judge just approved the expanded civil suit. We can go after every asset, every account, every penny they've hidden." On the security feed, Travis and Valentina were being prepared for transfer. Their designer clothes had been replaced with standard issue garments. No makeup, no hair products, no carefully curated image. "I want my phone call," Valentina demanded. "You used it," the guard replied. "Tried to warn your Instagram followers to delete evidence, remember?" Travis looked directly at the camera, and for a moment I saw the mask completely drop. No charm, no smooth talks, no practiced smile, just raw, impotent rage. "Layla," he snarled, "I know you're watching. You think you're so clever? You think this is over?" "Actually," Haley's voice came through the cell's intercom, "it's just beginning. The FBI has some interesting questions about those offshore accounts." My phone buzzed again. The cruise line's corporate office. "Mrs. Flores, in light of your assistance in uncovering major fraud, we'd like to offer you a complimentary business class return voyage. Our captain specifically requested you as an honored guest." Palmer whistled low. "Now that's what I call a plot twist." Emma was already nodding. "Accept it. Let them see you return in triumph while they face charges." I looked at the security feed one last time. Travis and Valentina, former social media royalty, now being led to their perp walk in front of waiting cameras. "Should I?" I asked Daisy, still on video call. She smiled, steel in her eyes. "Take the cruise, Layla. Show them that their victims aren't hiding anymore." I typed my response to the cruise line, then posted one final social media update, a screenshot of my complimentary booking with the caption, "Sometimes justice takes a scenic route." Within minutes, it had thousands of shares. 3 hours to docking," Haley messaged. "Media's calling it the cruise ship karma case. Ready for the next phase?" I looked around Emma's office, at the victim statements, the evidence files, the growing list of charges, and felt a cold satisfaction settle in my chest. "Ready," I replied. "Let's show them what happens when you underestimate a quiet woman with a plan." The port buzzed with activity as the cruise ship docked. Local news vans lined the terminal, cameras trained on the gangway. Haley's live feed showed Travis and Valentina being escorted by ship security, their faces twisted with rage as they spotted the waiting media circus. "Mrs. Flores," a reporter called out, shoving a microphone forward. "How does it feel to expose one of the biggest cruise ship fraud cases in history?" I watched from Emma's office as the footage played live on multiple screens. Travis tried to shield his face while Valentina burst into fresh tears. "Don't film me," she shrieked. "This isn't fair. We're victims here." "Actually," Emma stepped forward, legal papers in hand, "we've documented 83 victims so far. Would you like to hear their names? The FBI agents waiting at the dock moved in smoothly, reading rights and applying handcuffs. The click of metal echoed through the microphones. My phone rang, Travis's number from the police station. Should I answer it? I asked Emma. She nodded. On speaker, let's hear his latest performance. You vindictive bitch, Travis spat the moment I answered. You ruined our lives. No, I replied calmly. You did that the day you called me your personal ATM. Remember that conversation? I do. I recorded it. Everything we had is gone. Our reputation, our social status. Your fraud scheme, I cut in. Your stolen money, the trust funds you drained, the elderly clients you robbed. He switched tactics, his voice softening to that familiar, manipulative tone. Baby, we can work this out. Remember how good we were together? Just drop the charges and... The charges aren't mine to drop. The FBI is very interested in those offshore accounts. Palmer burst into the office, tablet in hand. They found more. 3 storage units rented under fake names. Designer goods, jewelry, cash, all purchased with stolen money. Travis must have heard because he started swearing. I hung up as Haley sent new footage. Valentina being processed at the station, mascara streaked down her face. My followers, she wailed. My influencer contracts. It's all gone. Along with the $84,000 in ship charges, Haley messaged, which they're now personally liable for. Emma spread court documents across her desk. Judge fast-tracked the divorce proceedings given the criminal charges. Sign here, Layla. End this chapter for good. As I signed, my phone buzzed with a message from Travis's mother. Thank you for stopping them. We couldn't. We tried, but they took everything. Now maybe they'll finally face consequences. The news coverage continued all day. Every major network picked up the story. Social media fraudsters caught in cruise ship sting. Financial analyst takes down family fraud ring. Justice at sea, how one woman exposed $1 million scam. Look at this, Palmer called out, pointing to his screen. Their old victims are organizing, starting a support group, sharing resources. Your story gave them courage to come forward. Daisy arrived with lunch, watching the coverage with grim satisfaction. Their father called me, she said quietly. First time in 20 years. Said he's ready to testify about the original trust fund theft. The prosecution will love that, Emma noted, already typing notes. Shows a generational pattern of fraud. My phone lit up again. Haley sending the final security footage from the ship. The luxury suite being cleaned, their abandoned designer clothes and jewelry cataloged as evidence. Their social media accounts, once full of stolen luxury, now replaced with court documents and victim statements. One last call coming through, Emma warned, pointing to my phone. Valentina. I put it on speaker. How could you? She sobbed. We're family. No, I corrected her. We were marks. There's a difference. They're saying we'll go to prison. Real prison. Actions have consequences, Valentina. Maybe you'll learn that now. She started to respond, but I ended the call. Enough words had been spoken. Emma handed me the final divorce decree. It's done. Your name is legally restored. All joint accounts closed. I stared at my signature, remembering the day I'd signed our marriage license, the hope I'd felt then, the trust I'd given so freely. Was it worth it? Daisy asked softly. The planning, the waiting, the perfect trap? Before I could answer, Palmer called out again. First victim support group meeting has 40 people signed up. They're asking if you'll speak, Layla. Share your story. I looked at the news footage one last time. Travis and Valentina being led into the federal building, their carefully crafted world of lies crumbling around them. Yes, I said finally. It was worth it. Not just for me, but for everyone they hurt. Sometimes justice needs a quiet woman with a loud plan. Emma smiled, gathering the court documents. Speaking of plans, your return cruise departs next week. Ready to sail back in triumph? I nodded, feeling lighter than I had in years. More than ready. It's time to show everyone that the best revenge isn't just getting even, it's rising above. The return cruise felt different. Standing at the same terminal where Travis and Valentina had abandoned me, I watched families board with genuine excitement, not stolen luxury. "Mrs. Flores," a crew member approached. "The captain would like to escort you personally to your suite." The same suite Travis and Valentina had occupied now welcomed me with fresh flowers and a handwritten note. "Justice has a beautiful view. Captain Roberts." My phone buzzed, Emma sending updates from the morning's court proceedings. Travis and Valentina had pleaded guilty to reduced charges in exchange for helping recover stolen assets. "How bad?" I texted back. 8 years for Travis, 5 for Valentina, plus full restitution to all victims. The ship's horn sounded deep and resonant. This time I stood on the upper deck, watching the port grow smaller. "Thought you might want to see this?" Haley appeared beside me, tablet in hand. Live feed from their sentencing. Travis stood before the judge, designer suit replaced by standard court attire. "I apologize to my victims," he read mechanically, "especially my wife." "Ex-wife," the judge corrected sharply. "Let's be accurate, Mr. Gray. You apologize to your ex-wife, whom you attempted to strand penniless after stealing her life savings." Valentina's statement came next. More tears, more practiced remorse. The judge wasn't moved. "Your social media posts bragging about your stolen luxury will be used in FBI fraud awareness training," she informed them. "Quite the influencer legacy, wouldn't you say?" My phone chimed with messages from the victim support group. "Watching the sentencing. Thank you for giving us courage. My grandmother got her retirement money back. You showed us we're not alone." Haley gestured to a nearby table. "Someone wants to meet you." An elderly couple sat there. I recognized them from the ship's security footage, Travis's last attempted victims. "We were about to wire him our savings that day," the woman said, taking my hand. "When the captain made that announcement, you saved our retirement." "Join us for dinner?" her husband asked. "We'd love to hear your story." Before I could answer, Palmer sent an urgent update. "You need to see this. Travis's father just testified about everything. The generational fraud, the family schemes, all of it." The attached video showed an older man, broken but determined. "My son and daughter learned from my mistakes. Now we all pay the price, but thanks to Layla, the cycle ends here." The ship's captain approached our table. "Mrs. Flores, would you consider speaking at tonight's dinner? Our passengers have requested to hear from the woman who turned a luxury cruise into a lesson in justice." I looked around the deck, at the genuine joy of families on honest vacations, at the elderly couple who kept their retirement, at Haley's proud smile. "Actually," I said, "I have a better idea." That evening, I hosted the first meeting of our support group's cruise chapter. Victims and survivors sharing stories, resources, warnings about new scams. Real people helping each other heal. "One more thing," Emma texted. "Remember that nonprofit for financial abuse victims you mentioned? Guess what? The cruise line wants to be a founding sponsor." I stepped out onto my suite's balcony, the same one where Travis had paced in panic. The ocean stretched endless and clean, carrying us forward. My phone lit up with a final message from Travis's mother. "The family fortune is gone, but we're rebuilding with honesty this time. Thank you for showing us how." Haley joined me on the balcony. "Quite a view, isn't it? Better than revenge?" "This isn't revenge," I replied. "This is restoration, for everyone they hurt, everyone they would have hurt." Speaking of hurt, she handed me a tablet showing the prison's approved visitor list. Travis had put my name down. "He still thinks he can manipulate you," she warned. I deleted the notification. "Some people never learn, but others," I gestured to the support group meeting continuing inside, "others learn to rise." The ship sailed on through darkening waters, its lights bright against the evening sky. Somewhere in a federal facility, Travis and Valentina faced their first night of many in cells. But here, their victims gathered in healing, in strength, in triumph. "Ready for dinner?" Haley asked. "Captain's table is waiting." I took one last look at the horizon, not as a victim, not as an ex-wife, but as myself, whole, free, victorious. "Ready," I said, turning away from the view. Let's show everyone that the best stories don't end with revenge. They end with rising. Behind us, the support group broke into applause as another survivor finished sharing their story. The sound carried across the water like a promise of justice, of healing, of strength found in the quiet after the storm.